Hello, all you out in lily pad land. This is Anne of Alamo, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on blending. Now, as you know, if you are on, I know GIMP has it. I'm sure many other programs have blending. I'm on CS5, and so what you're going to see today is going to be the normal. I think there's 27 over here, and they're in different groups. And what I want to do today is to show you some of the blending options that you can use with some of the product that we have here at the Lily Pad. And is a huge sale going on right now for overlays, masking, and there's so much that you can do with these. But the best way you can learn is just to push buttons. So today I'm going to be working with some of the ones that are on the sale today. The Polaroid Transfer Mask by Nancy Rowe Janetz. And so I'm going to try use with that one. And also, she has these cowgirl photo textures. They're an overlay, means they go on top of a photograph. I want to show you how some of those look and things that you can do with those. The overlays by Lynn Marie. Oh my gosh. She's showing these at an overlay, using the overlay blend, but there's so much you can learn just having these. You can use them on papers and anything else. These are really neat. Also, Lynn Marie also has these masks that you clip a photo to, but there's other ways you can use them using your papers, and so I wanted to show you those real quick. And then also Len Griefson's has these worn paged edges. They come in a PNG or TIFFs, and they also have them layered templates. I use a TIFF, but I'll show you how to bring those onto your page so you can open them up separate. So these are the things that we're going to be using today. And what I've done is I have a photograph of my backyard with my 17-year-old son who just got up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you have teenagers, you know what I'm talking about. But this is our back alley. But I wanted to show how different the different things that are on sale, things that you can use using blends. Your blends, I've placed in the forum, all 27, a little synopsis on each one. I really use multiply, screen, contrast, overlay. I don't use as many. I'd like to use more, but you can use them 4 or 5 different layers. And so what I have done today is to show you, and some of them I also have them, there's 8 that you'll see your fill right here and your opacity. There's 8 of them. I put a little asterisk by them that the opacity and fill are so different, so that adds even more. There's even more that you can do with them, but time restraints of 15 minutes for a tutorial is all I have for you today. So I have 2 pictures. I also have a lovely picture. Yes, that is me as a blonde this last weekend, and Mr. of Alamo next to me pulling it, but there's so many different colors, so I wanted to be able to show you things you could do with the different mask and overlays. And so I'm going to begin with Nancy's Cowgirl Textures. So I'm just going to put it on. Reason why I have this picture behind, so you can still see it behind the original. But if you pull down and you just start going through, you should click on it. And I have a rolling mask. I also have my pad, but I don't have that out right now. And you can just roll through these, and it gives you an idea. You can see here how that texture is going to add to the photograph, if you bring it in. And so I just roll through them. This is the best way you're going to learn your program. Just roll right through them. You can see some are just, well, that's just useless. But if I go over to my linear dodge, I might be able to get something out of that, my opacity and fill. But I usually just go until I see something, oh, I really like that. And there we go. I'm going to roll again. I just start rolling through. It's like, ooh, now I'm starting to see something I might like in it. And you can see some of them, it's like, it's just not going to work. But see, let's say I had a kit that I wanted to use with this that had bright blues and pinks and stuff, I can still keep the trueness of this photo, but bring out different colors that might not come out but with that particular kit. And you can see how it changes the hue, makes it a little older looking. And these are the different things that you could use with hers. So then if I add, I'm just going to go completely right through it again. Oh, we're doing it with my picture. That doesn't work. There we go. Back on her, clicking on her. There we go. On Nancy's Cowgirl Textures. Now these go on top of your photo. But see how it changes? I'm giving you the older. But see, it really, and if you move it around, you can kind of, well, hey, I'd like to do that. Soft light. And I just zoom through it. It's like, maybe not. But I really like the divide to how much it brightens it. And looking at this, you can go a little bit darker. Now I want to change. I could still bring in, and I like using this because it takes away my wrinkles. So that's different ways you can use that one. And I go to her texture. This is still in the Cowgirl Textures. I'm going to go real quick through this because this is another one of hers, and I don't want to do too much time. But you can see the different colors. These are both in the same kit or collection that she has. She hasn't. So those are some. Oh, the wood. So you can see how it's going to add to it, change it. So those are just different ones. But then on Lynn Marie's Skyline overlays, these are beautiful. You can make them bigger. I'm, of course, having it small so you can see. And running through them real quick. But it gives you, remember, there's blue on the bottom and yellow on the top. Or I could flip it if I wanted it like that. And then you could see how it's really adding to the skyline. And that's on Linear Burn. I use Linear Burn a lot. I do Multiply and Linear Burn. But they're going through. It's like, oh, look how good that green looks. But that's because of the colors that she has on this. There's also, oh, and it locks up. We're going to hold on. Don't lock up on me. It didn't lock up. I had to press enter. I have this on as large as it can go so that you're able to see. I wanted to show you the how I use this and lock my characters on here. So these are her Skyline overlays from Lynn Marie. Now she also has these page divider masks. So I'm going to bring the picture up above it and also have one, wait, I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to bring one above it, and it's clipped right now. Ooh. It's right now, it's clipped. See how it's all clipped to it? But I want to show you, having the picture underneath, you can actually duplicate Lynn Marie's mask and have it so you have both of them. But this will give you an idea with this black as she has for the mask. Now you can change that mask to any color if you want, but using that now, it is, I'm going to go through and show you. So darkened, and nope, there we go. So now you can see, using a hard light with that on the background, if you wanted to have something in your actual, I just wanted to highlight my dog or highlight my son over here. So you can use that mask on your photograph with one above, one below, or just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like if you had both of them. Now if I take the background off, oops, it's enter because it's big. If I take the background off, it's still giving me that darkness because of the color of this mask. Now if I change this mask to a white mask, see how it now it's changing. You're picking up something different because I'm using a hard light, and the hard light is going to pick up the whites. And so that's your background depending on what you change it to. So say if I wanted to put the blue, dump that blue in there. Now see how it's picking the different colors up? That's the original background. That's how much, there's so much you can do with blend modes. This is just so quick, but playing and touching and moving buttons and moving your levers back and forth and opacities and seeing, wow, is that really how I want it to look? But you can take a little bit more, a little bit less, and that's really the best way that you're going to learn something. So I'm going to turn this one off, and it's the same thing with Nancy's Polaroid mask. This is her mask right here. And these are neat because you can see they're already shaped. So if you wanted to have your photograph in there. So I'm going to put my photo on top. I have it on hard light. Let me go back to normal. I clip. So it's clipped right now. See how you can see. And I'll go ahead and go through. I start with, whoops, dissolve. I'm going through, trying to see. There we go. So we're starting to see a difference in what it's going to look like. So here's a black and white. And you can see the difference. That's a luminosity. But it's a different kind of luminosity. And the same thing, if you want to get more grays, still keep the colors, you play with those. But this is ways to see how it will look. And so back to normal. Oops, that's dissolve, which is semi in the normal. I'm going to release the clipping mask, take this out, and then I wanted to show you real quick. Len Griefson has these really amazing, I love my papers to be worn on the edges. And so you can do this different ways. I like to work on the canvas I'm working on. So you can open up, you have to open the PSD or the TIFF separate. You can't pull it onto your actual canvas. And so I don't use Bridge because it always locks up. So I have two screens and I just pull stuff over right onto my working page. I print all my stuff at 10 by 10. So what I do is I've opened up her worn page edges, number 3, as a TIFF, highlighted all 3, and then I bring them over. There they are. There they are. And I've made it smaller so you're able to see this. It still shows the paper clipping mask. And I can bring the picture. I'll put it right here. And clip it right to it. It still has the edges, has the shadow underneath there. And you can see the original picture. Same thing with Mr. and Mrs. Alamo there. And I will take that off, but you can see it's all set. The only thing this does not have is a shadow on the back. And so you're going to have to do your shadow work with that. So, but you can see how you can layer these so many different ways. Then you could bring in more colors. There's so much you can do with these. There we go. Put that back on multiply. I sometimes can spend hours playing with the extra stuff. So I've brought down Lynn Marie's overlay and just, I could play and play and play. See how it changes, the color it gets. It's just fun. And to me, this is a hobby that I love and I want to do more with it. But imagine if you had this and one right next to it in different colors. You could do sort of Andy Warhol pop kind of thing, but there's so much to play with. So you can see the colors sideways, upside down. Don't let it just open it the way it is. There's more you can do with it. It's like just so much that can happen with your program. And I don't want you to have to limit it with stuff that's not just doing it the same when you can just play. So I hope this helps you. The products I use, I'm going to try to link them, but it's a huge post I've done. If you do have any questions, please leave a question in the post below. I'll try to help you out, and keep scrapping. That's the most important part.